Welcome to the Hoot Hobbs Show. I am Hoot Hobbs. With me, as always, my right-hand man to the left, C. Wayne.
What's up?
And hey, we're happy to have you back, brother. And we're at condolences for your family's loss. We love you, and glad to have you back.
Thank you. Feels good.
And, of course, Mr. BT, Brendan Torres.
What's up?
All right, so I want to start today off by giving our listeners who, you know, I would say probably most of them actually know me personally, you know, at least the dedicated listeners and Facebook followers, that kind of stuff. But for anyone else listening who doesn't know, last Monday night, my wife and I went into the hospital to be induced. On Tuesday afternoon, my son was born. His name is KB. At least that's what his name is for everyone out there listening. He had some trouble breathing, not getting enough oxygen in his blood, so he has been in the neonatal ICU ever since. It has been a very stressful week, emotional roller coaster, up and down. This dad has about lost it several times, but the past 24 to 36 hours have been really good for him. He's showing signs of improving, and the doctor told us today that he believes that we're now on the road to recovery. So that is a blessing, and if you are listening to this and you are one of the people who's been out there praying for me and thinking about us and everything, I just want to say I appreciate you so much, and just wanted to kind of give you guys an update. As soon as I can, I will post a picture to our page. That way everyone can adore my beautiful little bundle of squishy, and yeah. So there's a little background on that. So to really get everything started off, I don't want to talk too much about it because there's still, like, obviously it's been a week since we've had this conversation initially, and there is still not a lot of information out there, which is another conversation in itself. But Afghanistan, what's going on there? Pretty much terrorists have retaken Afghanistan due to what would appear to be a very hasty removal of the U.S. presence in Afghanistan. There's a lot of people who have a lot of really mixed feelings about this. Mine could be mixed too, I guess. But I think that any time a terrorist organization takes power anywhere in the world, that's a problem for the world. You know what I mean? Not just America, but for everybody. You know. What I want to ask, I guess you guys, is it could just be me, but I want to know, have either of you two seen any kind of good information come out about this at all?
No, I've only seen like the video of the plane taking off, and then I haven't seen it touched up on social media or nothing like everything else, and it hasn't been blown up out of proportion. Yeah,
it seems like that story isn't quite as I mean, I understand that it's headlining, I get that, but the buzz isn't there, you know. President Trump farted in front of somebody he shouldn't have. It's national news and it's a big deal. People are dying in Afghanistan, and you know, including Americans being stranded there, which, you know, Jen Psaki would have to circle back and tell you that it's preposterous to say that there's hundreds of Americans stranded. There's thousands, you know. And I was like, wait, hold, what? Did you just say that? And yeah, maybe it was misworded, you know, or maybe the video I saw was touched up. I don't know. But all I'm saying is it wasn't a good look. And I can tell you the lack of response by the president has been almost impressive. I can't believe he's been allowed to do this. And at this point, I mean, even CNN's trying to eat his lunch over it. So, I mean, you got to know there's some validity there. But, you know, am I just going to talk to myself on this one? I mean, I mean, honestly, Brandon, have you been keeping up with this at all?
No, not at all.
Okay, that's fair enough. I don't blame you. I mean, you know, because watching the media is simple. It doesn't matter if it's Fox or CNN. There's no news like bad news. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear about the good stuff, so I get that. I don't blame you. What about you?
I've been trying to, but there's not like enough out there to get.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
all you know
just
is
kind of keep seeing the same thing over
the
and
plane.
over again.
That's all I see is
Yeah.
the plane. Or like our troops were removed.
Well, I was watching the president's address the other day while my wife and I were still in the hospital. And like the president comes on, he's going to address Afghanistan, and he literally did the DC dip and twirl, where he danced around a question but didn't really answer it, and then went straight into COVID. And we're like, hold on a second. Like,
That's all he talks about. I personally feel like all I ever see Biden talk about is COVID. That's all I hear from him.
Well,
And I get it's huge, but that's not the only thing that happens in the U.S.
it's not the only thing that happens in the world.
It's not even, I wouldn't even say it's the biggest thing. I think there's something tied with it right now.
Well, like I said, we might dive into that at another time. But I got to be honest with you, I'm running on limited resources, food, sleep,
So am I.
everything for the past week. So I don't. That's a deep subject
Not
for a
enough
shallow
brain
mind. You know
power,
what I mean? So we'll just move past that, and still, my prayers are with the people in Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of good, innocent people there, and I don't know. It's just a bad situation, and I'll leave it at that. But we'll kind of slide on over into something a little more lighthearted that Mr. BT shared to our Facebook group today. As a matter of fact, with the caption "I feel attacked," with a picture of those big, pillowy, goofy skater shoes. So, Mr. BT, go ahead and tell me, how many pairs of those did you have?
Oh God, there had to have at least been 6 or 7
Yeah,
altogether, and I have to admit that even at some points they had the giant goofy laces on them
Yeah,
as
the
well.
big chunky laces.
The big fat laces,
Yeah.
because you had to have the bar laces, the fat laces.
Right, you
were-
couldn't just lace them up like normal people. I mean, that was whack. man.
pH fat.
Yeah, you got to
Yes.
draw. Yeah, it's a really heavy on the fat.
Emphasis on the pH.
Yeah. Putting emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah, those gum sole shoes,
Yeah,
like pillows.
Bro. Hey, nothing in the world beat the look of black skater shoes with the gum sole. I had the Nikes. You told me what they
The
were. What
Nike SBs.
I probably predated those. I don't know, but yeah. I mean that's what I had. I had those. I had 2 pairs of Osiris.
No, that's what they're called still, Nike SBs.
Okay.
Now they're called the Nike SB Charges, though.
All right. Fair enough.
Yours were the Nike SB Janoski skate shoes.
That does actually
Yeah,
sound.
I would say, I'm pretty sure that's actually
I think that's it.
Stephen Janoski, something like that.
Okay. Fair
A
enough.
skater.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I had those. Anyway, and then I had 2 pairs of Osiris's. I never had the audios because I wasn't a big BAM fan, and everything that was audio was BAM, and everything that was BAM was audio.
It's true. It's very true. I did have a pair of audios, and they had this awesome audio sticker. It was like the logo. Couldn't wait to find something to put that on.
Oh, yeah.
To vandalize it forever.
But see, that's the whole thing. We did that. We did that when we were, junior high, high school, whatever. It's especially if you're in the skater lifestyle, which I was in junior high. I was never a good skater. I want to make that abundantly clear. I was not a skater. I was terrible at it. I tried really hard, but
I was all right, but whenever I picked up a bike, a BMX bike, I skateboarding always had my heart, but a bike from that point, it's like, nope, need a motorcycle.
Yeah,
and
right.
Just carried forward.
I know it happened to me too.
I'm pretty good at skateboarding, though. I go out sometimes to the one in the river.
Don't forget about how humble he is either. We've had that conversation. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty good.
I've been doing it for about 3 or 4 years now. I can almost do a kickflip.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're
Okay,
just
okay.
wicked dope. Got it.
Yeah.
That white boy is wild
But
dope.
I can get off the ramp, so I can ride the ramps and pop the wheelies.
Okay, fair enough.
I had these really good dudes teach me.
All right, fair enough. That's
But
cool.
they had on the
Hey, if he
Osiris's.
has, I was gonna say, if he has the balance, you never know. The rest, you just kind of pick it up with practice.
That's-
Balance is something you can't teach.
That's true.
They had those
I did not
thick
have
shoes.
balance. That was my problem. But yeah. So So here's a good question. We always talk about the generational gap here, right? You're 36. I'm 32. 32.
Sheesh.
He's much younger.
About to be 21.
Yeah. So oh man, wow. Okay.
And I'm 35, dude.
Oh well.
Sheesh. He's
got-
running off no sleep for 3
I
weeks.
know. Yeah, leave me alone. I've been up since the Easter of '88, man. Leave me alone. No, but anyway, so kids today, do kids today wear these shoes? These big, the big goofy skater shoes?
No, the closest thing we have to that is when you're wearing cleats and you step in a lot of mud. You get brick feet. That's the closest thing we have to the Osiris shoes.
Okay. All right. So what about skate shoes in general? Not like the big.
The Vans, they're Vans and Converse.
I don't even. I mean, I guess you can call Vans skate shoes, but Vans is a lifestyle now. You know?
It's the Nikes. The Nikes are what have taken over.
They're making a lot of skate shoes,
and even Nike skate shoes are really hot and popular.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, but in general, the DC and the Vans, and all these Etnies, all these brands. No.
The Haley shoes, I always wanted a pair, and I never got them.
Remember the Hurley T-shirts?
Those are still in. I see them all the time.
Hey, except now they sell at places like Cavender's. You know, say Cavender's Western Wear?
Yeah.
They sell Hurley there, yeah.
How weird, because I remember I used to have know a guy who'd gone to a place, he had his shirt, and you just stole it from him.
You had to find the nearest PacSun, which was, like in Tulsa or something.
Yeah, it was a little trip.
In order to get a Hurley T-shirt and an Element T-shirt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now it's like you can go to Cavender's Western Wear and buy.
Well, also with online shopping, you can get pretty much anything.
Yeah,
like
true.
if I could have purchased the things that I wanted whenever I was a teenager via the internet instead of having to scavenge all the various local areas.
We act like we grew up in a zombie apocalypse. I went and raided this pharmacy trying to find a Hurley T-shirt. It's like,
hey, try to
3 dumpsters.
Trying to find cool things in this area back then.
Yeah,
it was a struggle.
It was post-apocalyptic trying to find that. If you wanted a pair of Wranglers, you got it. But
need some boots.
Dollar General boots.
Y'all been to Champs?
Yeah. Hey,
I love Champs.
I still go to Champs.
Hang
Hold on
on.
a second.
That's pretty good.
That's where I buy my J's. But.
Yeah, I felt disrespected. That's where I got my basketball shoes.
So I tell you what, man. What other fashion faux pas, I guess you could call it now, but what was hot back when we were kids is just not anymore.
Wasn't Tap Out and American Fighter, those clothes?
We were already adults.
That's
we were making fun of that guy.
My middle school.
Yeah.
When I was in middle school, a lot of kids wore that. So that was 10 years ago.
I always loved watching so you go into a bar or a restaurant or whatever, and the skinniest dude walks in with the Tap Out shirt. And tight as it can be, and he's walking, 10 feet tall. He's got ILS, which is imaginary lat syndrome. His arms are out and everything. He's just mean mugging everyone.
The legend.
Yeah.
I almost slipped up the name.
Yeah, well, either way. But anyway, so you can see that guy walk in, and you're like, all right, what's old Spaghetti Man over here doing? He's like, you want to fight about it? And I'm like, honestly, kind of. I haven't felt this confident in a fight in a while. But then after Tap Out, it was American Fighter.
Yeah.
And I think American Fighter is still pretty popular.
Yeah, it's a certain group of people. I don't. There's not a
We
label.
know the
There's
group.
not a label. There's not a label for them, but there is.
Yeah, but they also wear jeans that have flaps over the back pockets, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
and the jeans that are boot cut, but they're tight all around their body.
Yeah.
Rhinestones around their pockets.
Yeah,
and they're multicolored fabric jeans.
Yeah, what? Those were actually hot in the 90s too, but they looked more like patchwork back then.
Yeah, now it's not. It's weird cloudish.
Let's see, what would be something that we thought was cool that now kids would be like, that's so stupid.
You remember Zones? Zones jeans?
What are Zones jeans?
They were the really baggy jeans that had long pockets.
Kind of like Jinkos and...
Yeah, Jinkos, Paco.
Really, yeah. I can't say I had a pair of those. But
I honestly can. I had a couple pairs of Zones.
That's all I wore.
I was 8.
But I will say the super baggy clothes, that is one thing that...
I was thugging.
I did wear clothes that were too large for me on purpose. So
I did that.
See, I even went through a phase in high school where I wore the American Eagle or the Abercrombie, polo shirts and stuff.
I did that in middle
I'm wearing
school.
a polo shirt. This one's Callaway though, so I'm a dad. It's a dad shirt.
It's not reachable unless you have a kid.
Yeah, that's right. So, but yeah, and ridiculously tight on my tiny little body back then. I was very small. I was 100 pounds soaking wet with ILS. Just mean mugging everybody. The guy I was talking about earlier was me. But,
you're that guy.
Yeah. Luckily I didn't ever try to fight anybody because I knew better. But no, man. Styles just kind of changed.
I kind of found mine. I started listening to punk rock music whenever I was about 15, and I kind of latched onto that and skateboarding. So it was a lot of chains and
Yeah.
I don't know, shirts with holes in them from all the falling down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I dress like a hobo.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You still do though.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
except when you're going to work. I mean, you look professional.
Yeah.
I can't say anything. I look homeless most of the time. My wife's like, "Oh my God, don't you have clean clothes?" I'm like,
It's so
these are
disrespectful.
clean. I was like, "These are clean." She's like, "Why did they look so bad?" I was like,
It's the style.
"I didn't wear good clothes while I'm out mowing, woman." You know?
Can you put on a clean shirt for once?
I'm like,
I just got this out of the dryer.
yeah. I was like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "Why do they all look so bad?" I can't help that. And she's like, "I was talking about your clothes." I'm like, "Oh."
I can't help that.
Oh, well, that's mean too. You know? But, I'm kidding. My wife's not that mean to me. Luckily, I think she thinks I'm handsome. I don't know. Sheesh, golly. Nobody. I've had a bad week. Y'all can't even like work on my ego a little bit. No, bro. I mean, like you, a good-looking cat. Oh, thank you. No, we can't do that. All right,
No,
fine. That's fine.
Well,
Yeah, it's not-
the hair is getting lush.
Yes, it is. It's getting luxurious. You know? My wife asked me, I don't know, probably like 6 months ago. She's like, "When are you going to cut your hair?" I was like, "When the good Lord comes." She was like, oh, well, I'll leave that alone then. And I've just been growing it out ever since. I don't know.
So if you just show up one day and you got your hair cut,
We
you're
know.
done.
We know. Time's up. We're
Yeah,
screwed
time's
because
up.
we're still here. And he already came.
Well, fellas, no one's as surprised as me. All right, so talk about some other things that have gone on in pop culture. Is I know that you're young, and I know that you're not BT. You're not a big time country music guy, and I'm really not a big time country music guy of like today's country. But one of the greats passed away this weekend. Tom T. Hall passed away. I think Friday or Saturday. I'm not 100% sure which one, but he was 85 years old, man, and. He's got a plethora of good music. He's known as a storyteller musician, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that's how I got to Memphis. Is just probably one of my all-time favorite songs in general. So it's definitely in my top list. I don't know about top 5, but if we did like a top 20 or something, it would probably be in there somewhere. But he kind of from the same era and the same feel as like Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Waylon, the Highwaymen. Considering that's Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash.
Yeah, the outlaw country.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I don't know. Like I can't sit here and claim to be a savant on all things Tom T. Hall, especially because that really anytime I think about him, that one song is what I think about. But it's just. I don't know. To me, man, it's a really awesome song, and it does exactly what the description of him says. It tells a story, and it's really cool.
Yeah, Johnny Cash had a great way of doing that with his songs. Like A Boy Named Sue.
Yeah,
and Folsom Prison Blues. These songs.
Cocaine Blues.
He
Yeah.
tells a narrative and a story from beginning to conclusion.
Yeah, sometimes from the outside, sometimes his first person. Johnny Cash was awesome at that. And, there are several.
Jimmy Dean.
With Big Bad John.
It's the only one I know, but it's really good.
Okay. That's probably his most. That's probably his claim to fame, right? Besides the sausage and the breakfast sandwiches, like
Genius.
Jimmy Dean's got it going on there.
I have those every day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Everyone
man.
does.
Who needs a song?
Yeah, whenever you got breakfast sandwiches, bro, you don't need the music.
Royalties for life.
Yeah. Jimmy Dean sausage. That weird commercial where he's just smiling and not moving his mouth as he's talking.
Colonel Sanders kind of smile on the petrified one.
Petrified. Just, kind of not really there, even though it's there.
It's like, please stay away from the food that I'm about to eat, sir.
So, we normally do a lot of talk on this show about hip-hop music because all three of us are fans of hip-hop music. Some of us fans of actual hip-hop, where others who I'm not going to sit there and say their names or anything, but they're the youngest person on the show. They like,
What'd y'all call it? What music did you say?
Candy rap.
Candy rap.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I like candy rap too, but
that's all I know.
I also, that's true. That's really all you know, because in your life, that's pretty much what's been shoveled to you.
It's true. A lot of the stuff that even is popular and hot doesn't necessarily have the substance of like Notorious B.I.G. or Tupac.
Eminem's gone to candy rap because it's what's popular. He wants to stay in the sales.
Okay,
a little bit. He's touched the candy rap.
No, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you.
But he's not a candy rapper though.
No.
It's funny you guys are saying Eminem
is a candy rapper.
Sheesh.
Eminem candy rapper. Oh, they must be at the movies or something. Dad joke. Womp womp.
That's a knee slapper.
But no, but let's kind of talk about that for a second and how it actually ties to country music. Is like today's country music is
way quicker, upbeat.
Well, and it takes in a lot of variations of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
There's
no more guitar in the background.
Florida Georgia Line. Of course, they did songs with Nelly and Jason Derulo.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I mean, there's a lot of crossovers happening between hip hop and country.
Taylor Swift. She dove from one to one. Now she's in the middle.
Well, it's true. Taylor Swift does have a song with Kendrick Lamar, but she made the switch from country music, I think, before she started having rappers feature her music.
But now she's back in the middle, kind of.
It's true.
I don't know what to say about Taylor Swift.
I don't like Taylor Swift.
Besides, you remember there was a South Park episode that had Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker in it, and do you remember?
Yes, okay. I remember Taylor Swifting. I remember.
Yeah, but I was actually talking about the way they described Sarah Jessica Parker as. He called her a transvestite donkey witch. I was on the show. All right, I'm quoting. Quote. Yeah, it's a direct quote. Every time I see Taylor Swift, I don't think necessarily donkey witch, but maybe a llama.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's the Cardigans. I don't know.
Makes a pointy face. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I don't know what to say about it. It's just I feel like she's a no talent hack. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
I got nothing. I'm not. I don't know. I thought we were talking more Billy Ray Cyrus and Little.
Oh, that's a great song. Old Town Road.
That is not a great song.
That is candy rap.
It's a great song.
There's nothing. That is not.
Does it
good.
empower you?
Yes. No.
They made a Fort Smith version. It's called Old Garrison Road.
No.
That song slapped.
No, it didn't.
It's on my YouTube channel.
Of
Go
course
look it up.
It's terrible.
I recorded it.
It's terrible. I'm gonna go ahead and keep saying it's terrible.
Got thousands of.
That is terrible.
Oh yeah.
I will say this though. It had one of the funniest misunderstood, lyrics. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people thought I'm gonna take my horse to the hotel room. And I was like, that's strange. Why would you do that? And I thought I was the only one who heard this. So I was like, obviously, that's not the words. And then I heard someone else is he saying you take a horse to the hotel room? That's weird. I was like, okay, cool. It's not just me. There's people out there. There were tons of people who thought that's what it said.
It sounded like horse.
I think in the music video, he's riding a horse, is he not?
Yeah, well, he even said, I'm going to take my horse to the Old Town Road.
Yeah.
But the way he says it sounded like hotel room, and we're like, well, that's a strange thing to do.
He's low-key saying whores to the hotel.
Yes.
If you're not understanding
sneaky.
what we're laying
it's
down.
Sneaky.
Oh. And see, that just proves my level of daddom. I didn't get that until just now.
What? I thought you were implying that when you said that's kind of weird. You said horse to the hotel.
No, I was thinking about actually taking a horse to a hotel room.
That would be weird, yeah.
So I found
that would be very peculiar, but
I found it to be off-putting and strange. And now even though it's
the sound alike of what you might be hearing instead makes a little more sense with a hotel room.
It's derogative.
It does, yeah. Like I said, I just showed my level of daddom, and I'm like, what is it? I put some brats on the grill. Got them from Atlanta.
Oh gosh.
He's saying broads. Broads? Oh, no, that's disrespectful. Who was that? Trey Kennedy, I guess, put that on Instagram. That was funny. Anyway, I kind of feel like that. I feel like Trey Kennedy imitating a dad. I feel like that's how I actually act.
That's you in real life?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't get it. What's wrong with this? I'm trying to make that shmoney.
Flip the wrist. Flip the burger over.
Oh, man. Yeah, anyway, we can move past that. But anyway, kind of getting back on this, as far as new, or I should say current, not necessarily new, but current country music stars go, there's several of them that I like their music. don't necessarily agree with their public persona, I guess you could say. But like Chris Stapleton is one of them. Like as a person, I'm not sure he and I would get along, but man, his music is great. Like it kind of gives you that, that Waylon Jennings, that kind of gives you that feel. I mean, it's not the same. It doesn't sound the same.
Kind of a retro feel to it, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Like I said, he doesn't necessarily sound like Waylon or anything, but at the same time, you kind of feel like you're listening to something older when you listen to it. You know, the first thing I ever heard from him was that Tennessee Whiskey, and I heard that 5-6 years ago, whenever it came out. And then he's got some current ones like I Think You Should Leave. That's pretty good. That's a pretty solid song lyrically speaking, and his delivery's good. Like I can stomach listen to him. Like if they're like, "Hey man, Luke Bryan's coming to town," I'll be like, "Oh cool, let me know when he leaves." You know,
please.
And what's bad is I feel like I would get along great with Luke Bryan hanging out. Like
just
that
don't care for his music.
Yeah, I just don't like his music.
It's like Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen, his recent album is pretty good.
Morgan Wallen's music is fantastic.
But him as a person,
I would hang out with him. He seems rowdy, man. He seems right. Look, he seems right up our alley. If you rewind our lives, 6 years ago or longer. Ooh, longer. But anyway, we're not going to go how long. But I mean, like he seems like that. Okay, so he said some things he shouldn't have said. I hate it. He apologized. He was drunk. He was at his house. He's
recorded on
caught
his own
on
property.
candid camera. You know what I'm saying? It was. Come on, leave him alone. He said something he shouldn't have said. He apologized. He hasn't come out and said, anything else that was terrible. So I say leave him alone. But at the same time, I don't think he needs anyone to leave him alone. His sales skyrocketed. So
they went up even more, yeah.
His name's still on the top search list of all of the top song downloads.
But I'm telling you, man, he's got a list of songs that are
great songs.
Really great.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. You could play his song or any other current country song. I wouldn't know the difference. You could lie to me and tell me that's his.
No doubt. I would say I know that's not really your bag.
But I do respect those album sales. That is incredible. The fact that he's still able to make a living in spite of something that he did and he apologized for.
Yeah.
He apologized for it. And what else can you really do? He can't undo.
What's
he can't
been
go
done.
back in time and undo what he did. I'm sure he would if he could.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That's not the way the world works.
Yeah.
But good on him for apologizing, acknowledging it, and
then just doing right.
Yeah, and continuing doing his thing.
But see, that's my whole thing with cancel culture. We've talked about it before and how I think it's bogus. It's like, look, man, there's tons of people on TV every single day that say things that I don't like, who represent things that I don't agree with. But at the same time, I'm not calling for them to be, taken off the air or anything like that. It's like, oh, we should ruin this person's life because they made a mistake. I mean, if that was the case, we're all screwed. You know what I mean? We've all said something we're not proud of. It might not have been that.
Yeah.
But we've all said things we're not proud of. He apologized. He's made his way past it, and he's been doing right ever since. Leave him be. If an artist, like, I don't care. Okay, here's a good flip side, right? Eric Church. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of Eric Church. So Eric Church a couple years ago, after the Las Vegas shooting came out, and he was talking he made some comment about how there needed to be stricter gun laws and that kind of stuff. Well, here's the deal. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Okay, I think you should be mentally capable of handling the responsibility of a firearm before you have one. From the same token, I believe in everyone's right to carry a firearm. You know what I'm saying? I have guns. And I love guns. I made a living with guns. Once upon a time.
Life.
Yeah, but I think that it's important for I believe in the founding fathers' principle of the Second Amendment. You know what I'm saying? The only way to overthrow a tyrannical government is for the citizens to be a well-armed militia, right? Mm-hmm. Well, so I'm not anti-gun by any means, but I also don't disagree with what Eric Church said. Well, conservatives all over the place were like, but Eric Church is a bum because he's against the Second Amendment. And I'm like, that's not what he said. Of course, once again, he didn't have a chance of being canceled because it was pushing something that, we'll just say, the mainstream media and stuff like.
Yeah.
So, you gotta pick your side. If we're gonna cancel, let's cancel. You know what I'm saying?
Can't cancel the left side.
Right. If you're going to cancel right, you got to cancel left. I say let's not cancel anybody. I say let's
Let it be.
And I say cancel it all.
right.
Of course you do, you dirty. I'm not going to finish the sentence.
But no, man, I'm just saying, like, why don't we just let people make their mistakes, condemn their mistakes, and if they do man up to it or face up to it, I guess I should say, you can just say, hey, look, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said that. It's my fault. And then if you go about the rest of your life not making the same mistake, we leave you alone because you obviously learned your lesson.
Absolutely. That seems fair. I mean, what else
Right.
would it be if we weren't capable of change? I mean, it's one thing to be considered a hypocrite. It's another thing to be considered a person who's not capable of change.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. You know, but I don't know
get
what
that.
even got us. We're on cancel culture now. We're talking about country music, but oh yeah, Eric Church, Morgan Wallen. Yeah, that was it. But you know, like I said, I just wanted to show that we are diversified in our music genres. You know what I'm saying? It's not all hip hop all the time. In fact, I gets down with Slipknot. What's up?
Yeah, tune in next week for our K-pop segment.
Oh,
K-pop. Psy. That's the only one I can name.
K-pop.
K-pop, Korean pop. It's a big thing.
It's
There's
seriously,
there's a new one. They're huge, and they had like a McDonald's meal. And you know what the McDonald's meal was? I think it was a 6-piece McNugget with sweet and sour sauce. I'm like, that is not a special meal. I get that like every week.
I know, right? I missed the Travis Scott meal. That was actually a meal deal. Like it was, if
That's
you
what
try
it
to
was.
purchase those items individually, it's like $9. And
Yeah.
that meal, that was worth $5.
But it's not like
Was it like Taco Bell or something?
it wasn't that
No.
crazy though. It was like
No, do you not
a quarter
remember-
pounder of a Sprite.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you remember when Travis Scott had a meal deal that you could go to a McDonald's and say, "I want the Travis Scott meal"?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't eat McDonald's very often.
Like they'd have kids like 8-year-olds going, I'm gonna go sicko mode on this burger.
sicko mode.
I don't know about all that, but
No, I
but
do.
anyway, it was like a double quarter pounder, and
With us medium Sprite, medium fries.
yeah,
It had barbecue sauce on it. No tomatoes and pickles, I think.
yeah, it was pretty plain.
It was something weird, but like you could. It's
Like,
nothing
it was just
crazy.
garbage. But
It tasted pretty good.
Yeah, but at the same time, seriously, buying all those items individually would have cost a lot more than just to get that combo, which
Right.
was pretty cool. But the ironic thing is they sold so many of them that they ran out of those items.
So it's like you just throw, like, you got your regular meal deal, your quarter pounder and cheese, but you throw Travis Scott's name on it and you sell out in a day.
And you drop it by $1.
Yeah.
It's crazy what a discount
Cactus Jack Burger. I
does. Cactus
believe.
Jack, that's a great brand. There's some pretty good merch. It's a cactus that's shaped like a cross.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I know someone with a tattoo of it on their hand.
Yeah, I like Travis Scott.
BTS, that's the K-pop.
Yes, that
the
is
really
it.
big one in
Boom.
USA.
You got
I
it.
don't listen to them. I looked it up. I looked up K-pop.
Hey, that's a little less impressive, but still, kudos to you.
It's like 7 Koreans, and they have a new song. They're Korean. That's
No,
what
I
they
know.
are.
I'm not just saying
Okay.
it's funny.
Make it
Yeah,
true.
they're like NSYNC popular though. They're like
Yeah.
huge with
Oh,
the
yeah,
with the
man.
girls.
They're
That's what's
South
up, dude.
Korean. They have a new
Well,
song,
of course they are.
and I don't know.
There is no joy in North Korea.
Oh my heavens!
And,
The new
well,
song.
no, I'm not going to apologize for that. Screw 'em.
The new song. They're like huge ones called Butter.
What?
Okay, but first off,
Butter.
that's not the
Butter.
that's
It's the
not
one
the
blowing
strangest
up.
thing I've ever
I
heard. Though
hear it
Sage
all
the
the time.
Gemini has a track called Butter. So
They have one
there's
called
that.
Dynamite too. That's pretty big. But the Butter one is the one I hear all the time on the
I
radio.
love how heavy he gets on that beat of butter.
Butter. It's like the man gravy. It just
Oh my
doesn't-
God.
It just doesn't sit well.
Yeah, you say it and you're like, oh.
Heavens.
Okay, let's get away from this topic before it goes any further.
Gross.
Yeah, gross. So let's stay on the pop culture thing. You know, everyone loves our lists apparently. So let's do a top 5 to end the show. Dun, 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 dun. Colby, C. Wayne, my right hand man to the left. What are your top 5 TV shows? And they don't have to be. They can be on streaming services. Okay, just series.
Number 1, we have The Office
Okay,
We have to.
That seems generic.
because Michael Scott is undefeated.
Right, that's what she said.
That is what she said.
There you go.
Actually,
Yeah,
that
thank
is.
you.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Number 2, Survivor. I always watch that. Me and Tyler used to watch it
That's
with
fair.
my mom.
I think a lot of people like Survivor. I don't really do it myself, but a lot of
And
people really like that show.
I'm under the beliefs that I was named after the Survivor winner in 2000. His name was Colby. And I believe that's what I was named after because she said that.
Oh my God.
For real.
Anyways.
I'd just be like, Mom, stop.
Number
Please
3.
never tell anybody that story again.
Number 3 is Big Brother because we used to watch that with my mom all the time.
So you like reality TV that has very little to do with reality. So that's
No, just those two.
Okay, fair enough. Keep going. What is that?
That's
Number
my
3?
mom. Yeah, number 4 would be The 100. It's newer, not new. I don't know.
Well, it's been out on the CW for a long time because I like
But
that
the
show.
newer seasons they came out with quick.
Oh, did they?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, we were backed up because of COVID, so now we're just going to rapid release everything?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Number 5 would be Outer Banks.
That's a good show. Man.
Haven't seen the second season.
That is it's solid, dude. That's a solid show. Second season, I enjoyed every bit as much. It was good. You watch it. It's good.
And I have 2 honorable mentions that are tied for 6th place.
Okay.
I have Big Bang Theory
right.
and then Under the Dome.
I don't know that I've seen Under the Dome. I don't even know is it like Biodome?
No, it's like
Pauly Shore?
it's about a town, like just a small town, like say Lavaca, and this weird like giant shield energy dome surrounds the town, and you can't go through it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like some evil society inside the town that goes on that keeps it from like letting people out.
The Simpsons movie. This is the Simpsons movie, right?
Oh yeah, they did do
They
that.
did. It's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing. It was
Yeah,
a
they
gimmick
did.
in the. Okay, go on.
Probably, but like the dome, like it breaks through stuff. Like there's a cow that got cut in half by it, and
Oh
it
my
shows
gosh.
it. And there's always butterflies around it and stuff because it's like some magnetic energy thing.
Huh.
There's much like evil that goes on in the town because it's like some equal secret society that keeps it going. The government can't do anything about it. They can't get in. They can't get out.
So C. Wayne has 7 in his top 5.
Yeah. No, I had 2 honorable mentions.
Right. Okay, Mr. BT, go ahead. I want to hear it.
All right, number 5. I'm brand new to this, and by no means am I a Trekkie or anything.
He's fresh,
like
is
that.
what he's saying. He's fresh in.
You got it. Okay.
It is Star Trek: The Next Generation. I've been watching that with my wife because she really does love Star Trek.
My dad's a Trekkie, so.
And I really enjoy it. I think it's a great show. Patrick Stewart is a phenomenal actor, and it's just captivating, even though you know it's just ridiculous Star Trek logic, but it's still just so captivating to watch them survive these perils each and every week.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, though. If it was a William Shatner-based show, you would know that Ensign Ricky would die every week. That one red shirt that goes on the with the away team. You got Spock, McCoy, Jim, and Ensign Ricky, and he's always like, crap, that's me. My number's been called. Some weird lizard guy's going to kill me.
See, that I didn't even know in the beginning. I asked her right off the bat, it's like, how come they're all wearing red shirts? I thought the red shirt guys always ended up dying. And then she explained to me that was the old Star Trek.
Yeah.
With this one, they kind of let that trope go.
Yeah. And I don't know. I've seen, because my dad has always loved Star Trek, so I've seen, the new ones with like Chris Pine. I've seen the first one. I haven't seen any of the other ones, or other one. I don't know how many there are. But like before, oh yeah, man, I was always a Picard guy. Sir Patrick Stewart just has a way about him. You're like, I would follow him, into the stars. But anyway, that's enough of that weirdness. What's number 2?
Number 4 is
number 4, excuse me.
Boy Meets World.
Like, yeah.
I like Boy Meets World.
Yeah, man,
I've introduced it to my wife. She'd not ever seen it before because it wasn't something she would have been into as a young girl. So I just kind of given her a crash course on who, Sean and Corey and Eric and Mr. Feeney.
I would say, and not to mention, when we were kids, all of us had a crush on Topanga Lawrence.
Oh, I
think she has a crush on Topanga Lawrence.
For real.
There's another one, Girl Meets World. It's about his daughter, Topanga's daughter, and the husband. Is
Ben Savage in it?
Yes. Actually,
it's like
he
the
is.
same. It's the same actors. They're
Is it
just
Ben
adults.
Savage or Fred? Ben Savage, right? Fred
Yes.
Savage was in the Wonder Years.
Yes,
Ben Savage
yes,
is.
that's his
They're
brother.
all older now, but it's with his daughter. It's called Girl Meets
and
World.
Topanga and Corey are the parents.
It's
They
not
are
like,
on it.
It's not like going on now, but it was like when I was in high school, middle school, so like 4 or 5 years
They
ago.
only got like 2 seasons and they
Yeah.
got canceled.
Yeah, no surprise.
All right, number 3, Community. I think it's hysterical. Dan Harmon's humor, I love it. He's
I've never seen.
one of the creators of Rick and Morty. You should give
there we go.
Community a chance. It's Donald Glover was on the original cast on it, and it
AKA
it has
Childish Gambino.
Love me.
Joel
some Childish.
McHale. He's the lead of the show. It's basically about this Spanish study group, but they never actually cover anything that's in Spanish. They always go off on some ridiculous adventure.
Okay.
It's hilarious, though. You should seriously give it a watch.
Is it an animated series? Or?
No, it's live action.
Okay, cool.
And it's, I think it was on NBC, but...
Oh, okay.
I think if you just watch the pilot episode, give it a watch. It's got your humor written all over it. I think.
Okay. All right. Is it on any streaming platform?
Hulu.
It's on Hulu. Okay,
Hulu
cool.
and Netflix. Actually, I believe.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah, I'll check it out, man. Okay. Moving on?
All right. Number 2, The Simpsons. I can binge watch Simpsons all day and all night.
Yeah, that's classic.
There's a point where they start getting a little bit ridiculous, and where you're just like, Simpsons aren't quite as funny anymore. But those classic episodes are still there.
Duffman. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and number 1, South Park.
Okay, it's fair. I mean,
I've been addicted to South Park since it first premiered, and I still watch new episodes every time they premiere now.
Yeah, I would say South Park, one thing that one positive thing I can say about South Park is the fact that they have never pulled a punch. Not one time have they pulled a punch. You know, they go for your neck.
Yeah, they're swinging for the fences.
Yeah, and so, is it vulgar, and should children watch it? Answer those questions in order, yes and no. But as an adult, and I've seen South Park, and they just don't, man. Political issues, they'll go after.
They dive right in.
Cultural issues, they're going in, and they're going for your neck. So Trey Parker and Matt Stone,
they literally had a kid eat his parents. So
my goodness,
nowhere they won't go.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, I'll give you my 5. Number 5 is, probably perceived now as being pretty lame, but I was a fan of Sons of Anarchy. And, for different reasons, though.
Sponsored by Harley Davidson.
Right, yeah. I mean, it hit all the marks, the action and the drama and all the, things that come with it. You know what I'm saying? It was a solid show, but a lot of people don't understand that whole show is based off of Hamlet.
I loved it. Yeah, Hamlet with Harleys.
Yeah, that was it, man. And it was a cool storyline, cool show. So I'll move on. Number 4, I actually just discovered this year, and there's a new season out on Netflix right now that I'm excited to start watching, but it's called Manifest. It was an ABC show, and it got canceled after the 3rd season, but Netflix has picked it up for its 4th because it is just, I guess when it first aired, it wasn't super popular.
I've never heard of it. What's it called? Manifest?
Manifest. Okay, so let me give you a brief rundown on it. So we're all on vacation in paradise, and something happens at the airport where we got to make room on a flight. So half of the family stays back and is going to fly on the next flight home, right? So the next flight home takes off, lands safely, everything's fine. Come to find out, that plane and all the passengers have been missing or presumed dead for 5.5 years.
Oh, I've seen an ad about that.
And they start having these things they call callings, where they basically go and interject in all kinds of foul things that's happened. So there's a lot of little mini adventures while they're all still trying to figure out what happened to them and everything. It's a good show. Like I said, season 3 just came out on Netflix, and I haven't watched it yet. So after I watch it, I might be like, never mind.
Now I see why this got canceled.
Right. Whatever.
That's kind of how I felt about Arrested Development. I really loved it when it was on the first time, but whenever Netflix brought it back and then made new episodes, I was like, I can live without this now.
Yeah.
It's like SpongeBob. I forgot to mention that on my list, too. That would have been my number 1. About how it gets worse. Because it's been great until the past 2 years. They made SpongeBob look different.
Their creator did.
I bet say, that and even kids shows are going on the woke agenda.
It's going
and I'm
the
man,
anime
just let kids
soft.
be kids.
It's the highlight.
Well, hold on a
anime.
second. You just we have a very heavy Asian following now, and you just dissed anime.
Well, it's
now,
not
I understand
anime.
that's
I
particularly
love
Japanese.
anime.
Right.
It's not anime. It's like SpongeBob used to be the sponge. He looked kind of crusty.
Right, I get what you're saying. The way he's animated, there's a little bit softer edges, and
cloudy
stuff like
and clean, and super 3-year-old vibes.
And what they did is they tried to make it softer so that they could market him. They made his eyes.
And
bigger.
I love SpongeBob.
They gave him longer eyelashes. They
I saw
enhanced certain features.
They made him look more aesthetic.
Yeah, they tried to make him look better better from merchandise and marketing.
I do want to go ahead and touch base on this. We're getting a very deep conversation about a cartoon sponge.
Heck yeah, I'll do it again tomorrow.
All right, let's do it.
I watch SpongeBob almost every day. I kid you not. I grew up on that show. I'll die on
I'll
that
watch
show.
that first season over and over
Same.
and over, man.
It's so good.
I would say if someone releases the whole
SpongeBob series.
series of Rocco's Modern Life, I'm going to binge watch it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say anything about SpongeBob. I would do it now, but Rocco and SpongeBob are two different animals. So
Regular show. That's a good one too.
What is it?
Regular show. You've never seen that?
I don't even know
You'd
what that
love
is.
it. It's
I
like
think you
Rick and
should
Morty.
give it a try.
It
Yeah,
was
it's
like the
pretty
early
funny.
version of Rick and Morty.
It's called Regular Show.
Regular
Yeah,
show.
regular
Is
show.
it like a Cartoon Network,
it's
like a
really
Adult
good.
Swim show?
Yeah.
It was like a Cartoon Network.
It's this bird
it
named
wasn't even
Mordecai.
Adult Swim.
Oh, okay.
It was like regular Cartoon
I
Network.
watched it as a
but it was-
13-year-old on like the kid channel on like 182.
Yeah,
on
it's-
Oh, okay.
Dish.
All right.
It's so good. It's a bird named Mordecai and a raccoon named Rigby. It's so good.
Yeah,
Moving
just watch a YouTube clip or something. You'll get the gist. of it.
Hi.
You'll like it.
All right. So number 3 for me is it's another stupid show, but Workaholics. I love Workaholics, man. That show, I was like, oh man, these guys, they're living the life. And then like the more I think about it, my anxiety goes up. Like if I lived like that, I'd be nervous all the time. But okay, so Workaholics. All right, number 2 is what we talked about last week, Letterkenny. I've
That's quickly climbed your list.
That
'cause
has,
that's a
man.
newer show to you.
Yeah, man. And it's, I don't know, man. Like I was saying last week, it's even like the goofy jokes are delivered with a straight face. You know what I'm saying? So everything is very dry. And I don't know. For some reason, it's just funny. And like there's a lot of repetitive stuff. Like the way he greets people. You know, he'd be like, Brandon, how are you now? You'd say, good. And he's like, not so bad. And that happens like 4 or 5 times every episode. Well, there's nothing really funny about the greeting. But after the 3rd time, you start catching on. It's like, okay, this is a part of the joke. And this is funny. And it's just enjoyable. I don't know. It like I said, it has a lot of language. Overall, anything else, the worst thing they do is they get in bar fights a lot. But, it's not for everybody. I'm not so sure my wife likes it at all.
It's one of those things. It's kind of like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Some
Kind of.
people will love it,
Yeah.
and then some people will be like, "Oh, that's a little harsh. I can't believe you like that."
Yeah.
Like King of Queens.
That is nowhere.
Jerry Seinfeld?
No.
That's pretty
Sit
good,
down.
though.
Sit down.
That's pretty good.
Sit down.
I am sitting down,
Is it
sir.
past your bedtime?
It's ma'am. What?
And then just to touch base
Yes,
on it
it is.
again, number 1 for me is Outer Banks.
Yeah.
That was just a really solid show. The story is really good because like you kind of get this like National Treasure type vibe.
Oh, it's
off
so
of it.
good.
But it's just like these ratty kids from the OBX and South Carolina. I thought
The Carolinas.
either way, it's in one of the Carolinas, but I think the Outer Banks is South Carolina. I could be so wrong.
It's
though.
in the Carolinas. That's
we
a
know
fact.
that. We know that. Anyway, but I mean, like, so it's kind of it's literally it's a treasure hunt.
It's a real place, dude. It looks so cool.
But these basically what it is this main character, which I happen to think is a pretty cool name because it was my granddad's name, and I've never heard anyone else called this. His name's John B. Like
JONB.
Yeah, well, my granddad was JOHN, but still, it's John B, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, hey, I've never heard that before besides in my family. So I thought that was kind of cool. So that's honestly why I started watching it. And after the first episode, I was hooked. And I finished the 2nd season, and I am excited for the 3rd season. It's a good show. Like, there's just both seasons are treasure hunts for different treasures,
Is he still... I don't remember if he found his father or if he's still searching. Well, didn't he find him at the end of the first?
No.
Or he's still searching, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I can't go too much further into it or I'll spoil it for people because the new season actually is.
Yeah,
just
I've
dropped.
never
It
seen
just
it,
dropped.
so I might have to give this a view.
Yeah, I won't spoil the 2nd season just because it just came out probably a month and maybe
not even that.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know, but I already watched it. It took me a day and I watched
Yeah.
all of it and I was like, oh man, now I got to wait a year.
That sucks.
But it's a cool show, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. If you haven't checked it out, check that show out. I think like on the Netflix thing, it's usually in the top 10.
Always
You
trending.
know, so yeah, it's always
So is
trending and
Manifest.
stuff.
I did see that.
Yeah, Manifest is very, very popular right now. So those are my shows that are like super popular: is Outer Banks and Manifest. Sons of Anarchy was popular for 7 years, and then once it went off, it's not. And they have a spinoff to that show now. Mayans MC and FX is putting it on too. I've watched it; it's pretty good, but you kind of are like, oh, this is the Hispanic version of Sons of Anarchy. It's the same thing. You know, you're going to have your ups, your downs, your cool stuff, your bad stuff.
Surprises, your surprise deaths.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, well.
Don't get attached to that guy.
Yeah, you know, when Ensign Ricky comes on, don't get attached to him, okay? The big lizard person's going to come out and kill him, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I tell you what, man, let's kind of start wrapping this up. You know, I figured that'd be a cool way to end it because everyone seems to really dig our lists and stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to say thank you to all of our people out there who are downloading and listening to us, man. I checked after the last episode dropped this past Friday. While I was sitting in the hospital with really nothing to do, I decided to check it out, and it looked pretty normal, right? And all week long, then the new episode dropped Friday, and then yesterday I checked it, still looked pretty normal. This morning I checked it though, and so I'm going to give a shout out. You know, last week we'd shout out to Ireland and of course Belgium,
The motherlands.
Yeah,
For me, at least.
Yeah, that's right.
For you, too.
Yes. But so now, man, I'm going to go ahead and just shout out. I'm going to do this pretty quick. So, you know, I just want to say big thank you to the people that are in Trinidad, Germany, Poland, Bursa, Canada, Egypt, Mongolian, UAE, Thailand, Philippines, and Vietnam. And just say, man, I don't know how it got to everybody, but...
Or if they even understand us.
You know, I would assume that most people probably speak English. We're the only country that's pretentious enough not to learn anyone else's language.
That is true.
Know? So, but man, just thank you. Like I said, I don't know how you got our content, but I am happy that you did. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you listen again. I hope you hear this. And, you know, as always, man, I'm going to say to all of our listeners, thank y'all so much here at home and abroad and everything. And just, man, find us on social media, like us, follow us, send us your comments, your feedback, and all that kind of stuff, man. And just, I don't know if I can say it enough, man. Thank y'all. And for the folks that do know us and have been listening to us and do know what's been going on with me, I want to say thank you for all the thoughts and thank you for all the prayers. My son looks better, and I can't wait for you guys to be able to at least, you know, see a picture of him or something like that. We'll try to get that lined up as soon as possible. So from all of us here at the Hoot Hobbs Show, I am Hoot Hobbs, always with C. Wayne and Mr. BT. We bid you good night.